Good morning. So today what we are going to be preparing is a Western style steak omelet. So on the counter are all the ingredients that we're going to be using today. It's pretty simple, it's easy, and very tasty. I did make steak the other night, so this is just a small piece of leftover steak that we had. I like to use I don't like to waste any food, so sometimes I recycle food, and what we do is we'll recook it into something else, so that's what we'll do today. It also saves money because everybody wants to save money, and these are ingredients that basically everybody has in their home. I'm going to maybe take about a quarter of that large onion, maybe a quarter of the pepper, a little bit more, a small piece of habanero pepper, just to add a little bit of heat. I like cheddar cheese, so that's what we're gonna throw in the omelet as well. And it's gonna be a pretty big omelet. I'm cooking today for my husband and my daughter, so it'll be 3 of us eating. So I'm going to use our large skillet pan, and it'll probably be about a 6-egg omelet. I know it sounds large, but that's only about 2 eggs per person, so stay tuned. Alright, so this is my large skillet pan. You might not be able to see how large it is. I'm just going to try to... It's pretty huge. It uses about 2 burners, and if I'm gonna make like a large breakfast, like sometimes I can do hash browns, eggs, like everything in like one pot all at once because this is so big. But today we're just gonna be doing an extra large omelet. Too much onions. I'm trying to get them pretty thinly sliced, just so that they're not like huge chunks, like huge pieces in the omelet. But you can kind of put as many onions as you want in as you like. I like onions, but I like when they're kind of sauteed in the pan. Like, I don't really like huge chunks. So since this is a large onion, I'm just going to cut up like a little bit more, and then that'll be that. Alright, so this pepper, I'm going to cut, not too much, but just enough to give it that southwestern kind of taste. And I love these red peppers because they make the omelet look like so colorful. And they're really pretty tasty as well. Alright, so I'm going to cut a small piece off this habanero. I'm not even really going to get any of the peppers. I just want to get some of the meat off. And this is like a little small piece I'm going to use, and I'm going to saute it with the steak. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is cut up the steak. This is actually some leftover steak that I cooked last night. I'm just gonna, not chop it up into, large pieces. I don't want too many large pieces, so we're gonna chop it up into some small slices. And I usually just like cut it straight down the middle and then, cut it across. So I'll show you. So now this is like 2 pieces. Put them back together. And then I just cut straight across. Just be careful when you're getting towards like the ends of the meat because you definitely don't want to, you know, cut yourself. All right, and there you have it. Frying pan is at about a medium high. I'm gonna throw in the butter right now. Once you hear this sizzling, this is definitely a good thing. You know that the pan is all warmed up, and you know that you can throw the peppers and the onions in there. So what I usually do is let the peppers and onions get coated with the butter and kind of, you know, do its thing and cook up, and then I'll throw in the steak. All right, so now that the peppers are, you know, have a nice brown and they're kind of starting to get soft, I threw the steak in there. Remember, the steak is already cooked, so basically you're just rewarming it with the peppers and the onions and everything else like that. So that can stay on for maybe about like 3 minutes to 4 minutes, as long as the steak is warm. I put mine in the fridge. I put like usually everything in the fridge, but if you did leave yours off out of the fridge, then it would take less time to get hot. You just want everything to saute together. All right, so it's like you see the peppers and the onions are nicely cooked. The onions are getting a nice caramelization right there, kind of when they turn brown, and that's what you want to see. Everything is cooking nicely together. You want to do this for maybe like 5 minutes until the steak is nicely warmed. I love black pepper. I already seasoned my vegetables, so I'm just going to throw a little bit of fresh black pepper on there, just because I love black pepper and I like when it's freshly ground. And in my opinion, it gives food just like a different elevated taste. I'm a home cook, but it still doesn't mean that I can't have good restaurant style quality food. All right, there you have it. Now you're ready for the next step. All right, so now I'm going to mix the eggs. This is gonna be a 6-egg omelet. You can use about, I would say a teaspoon of salt. I mean, you use salt to taste. I'm like eyeballing it right here, but this is how much I'm gonna throw into it. And then I'm using a pepper grinder. So if you're using like a regular pepper shaker, you can measure it, but you know, I love pepper, so I'm just gonna grind. All right, now I think that we're good with that. I don't really put like any fancy seasonings in my eggs. I think salt and pepper is really what people need, you know. I mean, it's good with salt and pepper. You don't need anything else. So I'm whisking the eggs, and I usually whisk them like under, and you know, I'm not gonna whisk them all the way. I whisk them about like 75%, and then I add my milk. And the milk is the secret ingredient to like a nice fluffy omelet. You can use whole milk, you can use skim milk, you can use whatever you have. But the milk, I'm telling you, Don't believe me, try it. You don't have to use too much either. So if you were doing this at home, like I should be measuring, but I kind of know how much to put in there now. I would say maybe about 5 tablespoons of milk, depending. You can use less if you're using less eggs. All right, so this is also gonna make the omelet fluffy when you whisk it. And I don't have a fancy whisker, but like the fork does just fine. All right, so now that we're done with our whisking, the next step is gonna be throwing it in the pan. All right, so I threw some butter in the frying pan. You could do about 3 tablespoons of butter or more, depending, you know, on the size or less of your frying pan. I'm gonna throw my egg mixture into the pan now. I have the stovetop turned on medium right now because you don't want it too high, because you don't want you know, your omelets to burn. So you can tell that the pan is ready because it's kind of bubbling the butter and it's like sizzling. But you could also do like a little like water droplet test, and if the water droplet sizzles, then you know you're ready to go. Turn it down like a little tiny bit lower, so it's going to be a little bit under medium. We want everything to, you know, cook up nice and even. I don't really make huge omelets like these, but the omelet hopefully should cook within about 4 minutes, we should say. Alright, so our omelet has been cooking for maybe about 4 minutes now. I turned it down a little bit just because I like for it to get completely, you know, done. We're gonna throw the steak and the peppers in there. We're also gonna throw some cheese as well. I just want to make sure my omelet is, you know, completely cooked from the inside out, which it is, and then it will still continue to cook, guys, because once I do fill it, we're gonna, you know, have everything cooked all together on the stove top. So it will be completely done. It will not be runny at all, and it's going to be delicious. I wish you could smell it right now. It just smells so good. The omelet's so light and so fluffy. Alright, so now we're gonna flip it over. Alright, that's exactly what you want to see. This is a perfect omelet. Alright, and now I'm just gonna take it out of the pan. Hopefully it stays in one piece. Alright. Perfect. Perfect omelet.